I'm Raj Kumar with DevX, here once again in Brussels at the European Dev Days, joined now by Peter Burian. Peter is the State Secretary of the Foreign Ministry of the Slovak Republic. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, this is a very important conference looking at what are the ways to take development forward. And of course, you come from a country that's a real development success story. It wasn't until a few years ago, really, that all of the World Bank loans and other aid that the Slovak Republic was receiving were completed. But yet, you've started as a donor nation just, I think, in 2003.
That's right.
Tell me a little bit about your trajectory, your transition to being a donor nation, and kind of what you see as the important role for your country in foreign assistance.
As you mentioned, until 2003, we were a recipient country of foreign assistance, including the EU assistance, and US and Canada have helped us to undergo the process of very deep transformation of the society, and we are very successful because the approach was very comprehensive to all aspects of the transformation. And currently, when we turn from a recipient country to donor country, we want to share our experience with other countries, maybe to help them or to be a source of inspiration and motivation for their reforms. Because if you take the period of 20 years since we started our transformation and we gain our membership in the European Union, it's really a very short historically period, but through this period, we managed to go through such a really speedy process of transformation, which really might be something which other countries might follow. Of course, we do not want to push them into any kind of model, but we want to show what worked in our case and what kind of mistakes we made, maybe for them to avoid our problems we were facing at the initial stage.
And I imagine that's important to have an impact for a country, a relatively small country, even though you give a very high percentage of your gross national income as ODA. I think it's something in the neighborhood of $87 million now. It's still relatively small. You've, of course, been ambassador to the UN and to the United States. You've seen sort of the big scale of aid that is spent by some other countries. Given the small scale of your program, how do you make sure to have an impact? How do you focus it in a way that it has an impact?
Of course, we do not want to compare ourselves with big donors, and we just started shaping our official development cooperation system, and we have an ambition really to build it according to the newest standards and to be very efficient, even using this smaller amount of money. And I think really our secret was that, as I mentioned, we went through a very comprehensive transformation, and I guess really this was our secret. When you pay attention to all aspects of the transformation and you do not disregard any of them, then you can be successful. If one of the legs, one of the pillars of transformation is lagging behind, then you are in a trouble. So this is our approach, and as I mentioned, we want to share this experience with countries in different regions. And what we registered really in our bilateral dialogue is that the interest in our success story, in our transformation process among the countries as diverse as Mongolia or Vietnam, Ukraine, Moldova, or countries of Western Balkans is growing. So we do not want to create some kind of false expectations. This was a very painful process, very difficult process, but it's a good investment for the future, and if you do it right, really this period can be very short for your transformation.
Now, of course, the Slovak Republic is doing well, but you are in a continent, in the European Union, where not everybody is doing so well. There's real fiscal pressure, Eurozone crisis, et cetera, is kind of the backdrop to this conference. There's been a proposal put forward by the Commission for 100 billion euro in additional, total spending for foreign assistance over the next 7 years. Some countries are calling for that to be cut back. Mm-hmm. What is your government's position on that, on this increase in assistance?
We very much support the budget as it was proposed by the Commission, and we believe that really also paying attention to official development assistance is a good investment for the future, and it's one of the factors supporting future growth. Because if you create a situation in different parts of the world, not only within the European Union, that other regions might be suffering or will be less able to cooperate and trade with the European Union, of course will suffer the consequences. That's why we believe really that this part of the activities, and the EU is the biggest donor in the world, giving almost 50% share to official development assistance globally, that this should continue, and this should be a recipe for or remedy for even our internal problems within the European Union.
Now, a lot of the way that large amount of money comes out of the European Union is from the individual states, like your country, as well as from the Commission. Carolyn Anstey from the World Bank spoke on a panel today, and she said, maybe we need to get past the point of putting our brand name on foreign aid projects. Do you think we can get to that time? Can you imagine a time when you would not indicate your country's own aid spending and brand it as your own, but rather be part of a general community?
Actually, we are already doing that, and 80% of our expenditures for official development assistance goes under the name of EU, and only 20% of the budget for ODA goes for bilateral projects. So basically it's already happening. And really, the EU is an important entity, and it's only strong when it's together. And we believe by pooling and really sharing the resources and spending them wisely and effectively is the best way how we can help others and how we can help ourselves.
Well, your country is a real success story. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today, and I know our members appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.